you. Good morning.
Good morning.
And how are we doing this morning?
Good.
I'm fantastic. I mean,
in spite of the fact that you are going to pay a 35% tax.
Oh, you see, there's a what do you call it? And especially my hometown. My hometown. They say something. Yes.
What do they say in your hometown?
When you're not a thief and they are calling out to thieves, you sleep soundly.
Oh, are you saying someone is a thief?
No, I'm saying that when you're not caught within the bracket and they are saying that they'll get.
Oh, Raymond, stop hiding what you're true with. We all know. You are reliably informed they are paid 75,000.
Yes, affection for the socialists.
Off the day he was angry.
I'm telling you.
Because he will pay.
I couldn't find Raymond anywhere.
Everyone angry. I can do the list for you.
No, you are the one we are speaking. You are the one we are speaking to now.
You want me to mention names?
He wants to deflect this on. Should I mention the names?
Yeah. Okay.
No, Malik, don't mention any names. The point is that
there's somebody here for 3 different occasions said, "No, I still don't understand this thing. What do you mean by that?" I said, "But this is very clear."
But Raymond, your concerns are very legitimate. I mean, 75,000 cedis a month is a lot of money.
For who?
And I'm speaking of you. So it's a lot of money. So I understand you have legitimate concerns. But you
concerns shared by Evans Mensah.
Give to Caesar.
Then I said, no, Evans, it's
Evans,
like this.
it wasn't me.
When I said,
Evans, it wasn't me.
It's like this, and said, still, he doesn't understand. I said, what part of this want to understand again?
Okay. How are the newspapers capturing what the finance minister said yesterday?
The Finder is reporting this morning, new taxes to rake in 845 million Ghana cedis, expenditure cut by 664 million to bridge 1.4 billion revenue shortfall, and also on the front page of the paper is new ambitious housing scheme takes off next month, and this is a very, very prominent, relevant issue. The other one is we've been set up to fail WASSCE. Blind SHS students are the ones speaking in this case.
The Daily Heritage newspaper Oforiatta wows traders as Guta welcomes accurate media budget, but minority says government has increased VAT through the back door. Also on the front page of the Daily Heritage newspaper, highlights of the 2018 mid-year budget, and government has released land at Mempiasam to us. Those are the stories.
And we still stay with what happened yesterday. NPP's 18 months is better than NDC's 8 years. Ken Oforiatta is the one saying this. And also on the front page, a very wonderful Bentley is being parked there. And that Bentley is yellow, but the inscription is not a very exciting one. The rich to pay more for their cars.
Malik, did you hear?
The Daily Statesman.
No, Malik, did you hear?
I don't own a Bentley.
What's yours?
I don't own a Bentley.
We are reliably informed. There's a Lexus
my car is
pack
1.5. My car is 1.5. If they bring it down to 2 from the 3, if they bring it down to 2, I still will not pay.
That's still safe.
Which I don't anyway.
Now Raymond is afraid. The Daily Statesman newspaper, Finance Minister swerves NDC, no VAT increase, and Akufo-Addo needs time to repair what NDC destroyed.
The Independent is reporting this morning. I feel like a prophet. This former President John Kufuor on the front page of that paper.
Oh, just that.
Yeah.
Prophet Kufuor.
Yes.
Okay. We'll bring you outside. Malik.
And that's the Daily Guide newspaper. Nana excited over Bongo one village, one dam project. Zongo youth on rampage at Asawasi, and no VAT increase. We've done this before. Those are the stories on the front page of the Daily Guide newspaper.
Now, the Ghanaian Times has the very stories that has been done today, but let me bring you Nigeria at risk of FIFA ban is at the back page as power struggles continue. And there's another one that you should be interested in. Highlights of President Nelson Mandela's centenary birthday lecture in Accra, the details of which are in the Ghanaian Times this morning.
The Herald newspaper, probably the only paper that does not carry any story on what happened yesterday in Parliament. Bank of Ghana shills Otabil and Kofi Amoabin, but puts Dufour's properties on sale. MPP serial callers chopping NHIA cash nyafu. Tekpe Aveji roast untruthful Oforiatta over backdoor VAT increment, and politically biased Bosman Asari for deputy EC boss.
And that's interesting. That development we sure should be following. I'm told there's some swerve somewhere.
EC boss?
There's some swerve somewhere. But you,
Upon number.
Yeah. Things are changing things.
Let's see what happens.
Now, Weekend Today is reporting this morning. Oh, stories that Malik doesn't like. Pressure on NLA boss to contest a Sojaman seat. And this is Kofi Osei Amia. Yes,
He's
he
former
says-
former member of parliament for that constituency.
Yes,
Yeah.
he says there's pressure on him to contest again.
Oh,
No,
He
people-
says, or the
Yeah,
weekend today.
the
The
politicians.
weekend today is quoting him.
The weekend ticket says he says there's pressure on
the
him.
politicians are always under pressure.
Yeah, of course.
Contest.
The masses always call on
They're
them.
always
Yes.
called on by the masses. The Ghana Observer newspaper, the same kind of Fureta story here. Government boosts revenue without killer taxes. Government empowers persons with disabilities, releases over 7 million Ghana cedis as their common fund allocation for first quarter for 2018. The Jack, I feel like a prophet, is here as well.
The new weekend crusading got a lot of prophecies. And the finance minister dribbles minority. You see, that's how they put it on the front page too. And I did not receive any payment from NHIA. This is according to the Deputy Majority Leader, Minister in charge of Public Procurement of the Republic of Ghana, Sarah
A
Adjwasa.
member of parliament.
Yes.
Dome
yes.
Kwabenya.
Dummy. I heard they say it's dumb. The Daily Graphic newspaper. Daily Graphic really has a very beautiful photo of minority leader, majority leader, finance minister. Nice one. Also on the front page of the Daily Graphic newspaper, Mandela would have endorsed Ghana Beyond 8. That's the president talking, and president visits dam construction site. Those are the stories on the front page. The back page of the Daily Graphic newspaper, fall army worm resurfaces in parts of the northern region. And Choco fishermen welcome ban on fishing.
Ray, let's begin with yesterday's announcement, shall we?
So, massive swerve of the proposal. Of course, we knew it the day before that.
Yeah, so we
The
announced
VAT
on
no-
Wednesday.
It won't happen. Yeah, to those who.
Look at the tune that Raymond. I announced this, but I'm feeling like you're doing
And
too
he's
much.
taking credit for
I'm
it.
telling you.
So the we, what did I mean by that?
No. What I'm saying is that I am part of the we, but still I'm feeling like no, we yet to know.
You should have said that Daniel Dazi announced.
No. My point is the way he's saying this, though. It's like Raymond. Okay, yes, we announced it, and then what happened?
So government, in the stead of the increment in the VAT, decided to introduce some equally controversial taxes within that range and remodel some of them. First, we understand that the National Health Insurance Fund and Get Fund levies, which are 2.5% of, if you like, currently the 17.5% of the, the VAT that we have, 5% is for one Get Fund and also National Health Insurance.
Yeah.
What they have done now is say, take them out of this VAT, bring them to be straight tax on its own,
Okay.
i.e., they are not charged on value added.
Yeah.
They are charged directly to the original product cost. So that is where the first difference ought to be noted in this case. But the understanding, and let me then bring in the thoughts of what they call it, the former finance minister. No, as for the other one,
Aveji.
it's difficult to understand.
Aveji
that.
was the chairman of the finance committee.
Yes,
of
I'm talking
Parliament.
about former finance minister. Secretary has pedigree in what they call it, tax issues. I've
Yes,
seen
he
his
was
writings.
a tax expert before he
it-
became finance minister.
Yeah, that's right. Okay. Let me stay with the fact that what Secretary said, which basically was to say that the companies, and he singled out companies, cannot rejoice because under VAT, it's an input-output tax. They can, as companies, demand payback for some inputs they've made. It is true. It's also true that under the current regime, the 5%, okay, so you can demand payback on the 70.5 in this case.
The 5% you are adding
Yeah.
both Get Fund and
Very
the
good.
NHIA levy.
NHIA. Both the 5% we are dealing with in this particular case are supposed to be exempted from their possible payback that they can get from the 70.5.
Okay.
It's also true.
Okay.
It is the conclusion that is, because if his conclusion is that the businesses will not be excited by it, maybe that can be true. But for the ordinary people too, it cannot be the case.
Okay.
For the ordinary people, it will be some form of relief. Unlike the businesses which may and had intent of getting something back, will not get it anyway. So there's really been no increase. Hope you get what I'm trying to say.
No.
The remodeling has made it possible for people like myself, Malik Exclusive, to get some relief from the current regime,
Okay.
but push a little bit of the burden on companies which were previously, and the explanation is that in both the NHIL and Guest Fund, which kind of input do you make, you as Malik? Which kind of input as a company owner do you make for you to make some form of return on that?
On NHIL and Guest Fund.
Very good. So it didn't make sense in the first place for you to do so.
No, so the point is that this whole input-output argument you're making is that when you're incurring a cost on your production, you pay the VAT. And so when you are selling your product as part of the selling price and you charge VAT, you just go and pay the difference to GRA.
Yes, you take a part of your money.
Yeah.
In this case, they are going to pay the difference without 5%. That is for the companies in this case. But for you, who is going to go directly to it, slight impact, but not as much as if it were to be VAT, it would have been increased. So that is where the difference really
but
we'll
be using the scenarios and getting further into it later.
So, Daniel, let me talk about that which is affecting Raymond directly, which is the luxury vehicle tax. Now, government is imposing a certain tax on luxury vehicles. Any vehicle with engine capacity between 3.0 to 3.5 liters will now pay 1,000 cedis annual tax on the vehicle. That's why Raymond is complaining about this one. So if you have a vehicle which is 3.0, between 3.0 to 3.5, so whether it's 3.0 or 3.5, you pay 1,000 cedis annually.
Yeah.
If it's 3.6 to 4 liters, you pay 1,500 cedis annually. And 4.1 and above, you pay 2,000 Ghana cedis annually on your vehicle. And this is money you will pay when you go to renew your roadworthy certificate and all of those ones. You pay this amount
as the DVLA.
At the DVLA, as your vehicle, luxury vehicle tax. Raymond himself and others are not very happy about this one. But I dare to say that I think this is one of the most sensible.
You dare to say?
I know the Sell on Branty and others were happy. They said the roads are bad. So when somebody buys their 4-wheel drive and they want to escape the potholes, in fact, the dams on the roads or the roads in the potholes, then you go and put a tax on it. But, well, I think generally if you listen to the finance minister yesterday, he said that the biggest problem confronting the nation in terms of revenue generation is collection. They don't want to impose new taxes, but they want to collect and they want to be efficient in doing that.
Yeah.
And as part of that, they want the wealthy to pay a little more. And I can understand why. I will tell you something he said many years ago which stuck with me, which explains why decisions such as these are being taken.
All right. Now, let me bring you a proper understanding of 35% personal income tax for people with salary of 10,000. Now, currently, we are running a 5-tier regime. The 5-tier regime is pretty simple. Those who are paid 260 cedis and below do not get to pay any tax on personal income in that particular regime. So you still take home the 261. Those who go as high as having 70 and 100 cedi added pay between 5% and 10%. Now, those who go to the 2,810 actually pay 17.5%. So if your salary is 2,810 and above, you're supposed to pay 17.5%.
This is just income tax. 17.5.
Yes.
It's not VAT.
It's not VAT. It's income tax. It just looks similar. But those who pay 3,241 and more are actually getting 25%. So all the people within the 10,000 range and more were paying 25%. Interestingly,
25% of the difference between from 10,000 and above. So it's not 25% of the lump sum of the entire 10,000.
Yeah. Now let's get it clear on this one. If you are now, they've introduced the next one. So the next one is that those of you who are paid 10,000 more, they are going from 25% to 35%.
Yeah.
If there's any increase in this case, the increase is in 10%.
Yeah.
Not that you are now come to pay fresh 35% on it. So you are going to pay 55 or 60%. It's an increase from 25%, which you were currently paying. That's if you are paying income tax.
So you are paying 10%
more of your. So your 10,000 is coming down within that range. So that's how much supposed to be paying on this case.
All right, Raymond, let's move away from the taxation conversation. But this interesting sound that we have of Mr. Ken Ofori-Atta in Parliament yesterday.
I would like to inform the House, Mr. Speaker, that there will be no increase in VAT.
Yeah. VAT will thus be maintained at 12.5%.
There will be no increase in VAT, as has been speculated. I would also like to advise our friends that we should stop taking directions on economic policy from social media. Mr. Speaker.
This is what some will call a punchline, but shall we move away?
Clearly a punchline.
Oh, but
Okay.
but
Let's
so we
move
know
on.
who to take their policy from on social media. That's what he's saying. We should know who to Anyway, but that's interesting. Now, let me bring you one other development that perhaps many missed in yesterday's own. Now, the minister referenced something very important. He says that our pilot phase of the National Mortgage and Housing Finance Scheme will start in August this year to pave way for us to get more houses. In fact, the updated records show that we have almost 3 million housing deficit in Ghana, which means that we may need to double up or provide over 200,000 houses every year to clear backlog before we can look at annual population growth and make provisions for that particular one too. So that's where the problem is. What's good about this is the explanation that the finance minister gave yesterday. He's saying that contrary to the view that some of us will never feel that this tier 2 that we are paying, we're not getting any impact on it. It is one of the reasons why you get it as assurance and equity, so that it can buffer up and you can pay within the period that you are working. Proper mortgage. Housing that is not exceeding the allowable income for housing, which is supposed to be affordable housing within 15 to 25% of your income. So that it doesn't really affect you big time. So I can at least for once fix the problem permanently. Not with government building and saying that people should go and pay and stay in, which becomes a very big problem. You throughout your working life is contributing to the time that you get it. So that's where the difference is anyway.
Right. Let's move to the.
Yeah, just a small point in the end. Raymond was talking about good news. There are the Ghana Union of Traders, according to the Daily Heritage newspaper, welcomed the presentation yesterday. They are excited that VAT didn't go up, and you hosted one of them here who was talking about the reduction in taxes last year and how even though the taxes were reduced last year, it didn't really affect. It didn't really affect. And I heard Kojo Ponkuma also on your show asking the question, imagine their business without those reductions, how they would have fared. So certainly the reduction helped them. Now they're excited that government didn't increase VAT, because when he was the one of them was on the show last week, he was afraid that VAT will go up, and if that happened, their businesses was going to go down. The Greater Accra Regional Secretary Nana Opoku Achampong is excited, and he told the Daily Heritage newspaper that this is one of the best news that they have. Let's hope that a year from now they don't come back as they did, because last year when the reductions were made, they were excited, and later they complained that all the reduction had been consumed by depreciation in the value of the currency. Let's hope that the currency is maintained and they benefit from the maintenance of VAT at 12.
So Raymond, let's move from these issues and deal with the NHI. It's been in some controversy.
Yes, there was a write-up as a letter from the Deputy Majority Leader, Sarah Adjoa Safo, to the NHI for sponsorship to go to Kennedy School on some women development and other leadership things. And a couple of days actually. This demanded $8,500 from the NHI as sponsorship to do so. This raised a lot of concern in the public, and people were worried why NHI is suffering with finances.
I think that was just the cost of training alone, and
yes.
she needed plane tickets and
accommodation,
all of that. All of that would
she
have
didn't put money to it. So,
yeah.
So the interesting part in all of this is that she's saying that I never got the money. As in, she did not finally receive the amount of money she requested for, or get the help that she was supposed to get from the NHIA to be able to pursue this.
I've actually seen a letter where she wrote to the NHI to tell them that she does not need the money anymore, and that she got the money from Parliament, and so they don't need to pay that money.
Her spokesperson actually told Advancements on Top Story that letter was withdrawn, and that's the letter you are talking about. And I guess the fundamental question Evans was asking that day was, why write to NHI in the first place? Because this letter inviting you to come and participate in this was directed to Parliament.
They don't reference the NHI.
Absolutely. So why write to NHI asking for money?
We've heard a claim that is the NHI's corporate social responsibility sometimes, and I don't know why they are doing corporate social responsibility to parliamentarians in any way. But that is what the claim has been on this particular issue. Luckily, the issue ends up that way. I mean, it would have been almost incomprehensible that in the state of the NHIS, we can in any way make any demands like that on the institution. And of course, there are letter from the NHI that also indicates that they never paid any amount of money to the lady in this case. If this is the standard practice, we should cease. I mean, it doesn't make sense at all.
Yeah.
Right.
Then, just one last story, a worrying story from the northern parts of the country, which is fall armyworm, which is consuming large tracts of farms, rice and maize farms in the northern parts of the country. This is a big problem because, and this is happening in the Nanumba South District of the West Mamprusi Municipality in the northern region. We know that last year, thousands and thousands of acres of land were ravaged by fall armyworm.
And it looks like they're back.
It looks like they're back.
Unfortunately, we need to get some more clarification on it, but thank you very much, Malik and Raymond. Let's go online. And the online news review is brought to you by Zenith Bank in your best interest and Goil Good Energy, Ghana's #1 indigenous oil marketing company. Goil gives you innovation that takes you further. The new Goil Super Synthetic 5W20 and 5W30 lubes. These expertly crafted lubricants work excellently with all modern petrol and diesel engines, provide superior cleaning and protection, reduces fuel consumption, prolongs oil change intervals, and enhanced engine performance. New Goil Super Synthetic 5W20 and 5W30 lubes. Engineering innovation for your vehicle has arrived and is available at all over 330 Goil filling stations. Goil Good Energy. Now sign up for Zenith Bank Assurance products and secure the future under no stress. Sign up for the Zenith Life Plan, Zenith Fairway Plan, Zenith Education Plan, and the Zenith Hospital Cash Plan, all underwritten by Prudential Life Insurance Ghana. Enjoy a secure future by calling Zenith Bank today on 0302 680 884 for insurance packages that will conveniently cater to all your insurance needs. Zenith Bank, in your best interest. Adumonline.com says if you earn 10,000 Ghana cedis plus, prepare to pay 35% personal income tax. Oforiata, that's our finance minister speaking there. VAT rate increase in disguise, don't jubilate yet, said Tekpe. Governments to outsource management of public sector payroll, Ken Oforiata speaking. Police Zongo youth clash over killing of 7 indigents by police. And Zongo chiefs condemn rampaging Asawasi youth. Other online stories, the BBC says on the Trump-Putin meeting, the Russia leader has been invited to visit the US, and US President Donald Trump has invited Vladimir Putin to visit the United States in the autumn, according to his press secretary. Thank you, Malik, and thank you, Raymond, for bringing us the news review. We will be taking these important messages and then the